Okay, y'all, it's KJM, and I'm back with the second Miracles of Christmas movie review, My Christmas Guide, starring Amber Marshall and Ben Mill. Okay, Minalai, Miracles of Christmas, I mush me up. Okay, I just finished this movie, and I'm gonna tell you, Miracles of Christmas and Hallmark movies and mysteries in general sometimes get slept on because it's not the major network. But this particular channel nails a lot, and they cover hard topics like death and dying. Yes, they do. Last year's Miracles of Christmas 2022, the movies that had me sobbing the most was The Holiday Stocking and Christmas Bedtime Stories. Now, I know both of them had some elements of fantasy in it, but I was like, but is that ball? Just like crying. But one thing I could say about Miracles of Christmas is they're not going to waste the Christmas season on stories that don't make sense. They're going to try to hit you for the jugular. So here I am watching My Christmas Guide. Like I am literally, I'm trying to preserve these lashes because I don't know when I'm going to be able to get my next fill in, but I am so emotional from watching this. Okay, Megan and I love this movie. I'm going to start off by telling you I'm giving My Christmas Guide 9 out of 10. Right now, Miracles of Christmas, just with their two movie premieres, are doing more for Christmas than regular Hallmark right now. Okay, because I am in the spirit and I'm all in my feelings. Now, even though My Christmas Guide is kind of the type of movie that could also, take place any time of year, I felt a lot. Family, friendship, the Christmas season. And that's why I'm giving it a 9 out of 10 instead of a 10 out of 10, because it is a movie where they could take this storyline and it could happen any time of year. I'm still trying to catch my breath because with every scene of this movie from like the first 5 minutes, I was intensely in my feelings. There were just things that were making me happy, things that were making me sad, things that were making me just very frustrated. Okay, let me get into this review. So Ben plays Trevor, a literature professor who recently lost his sight within the last 2 years, and it happened very rapidly. He is a single father to daughter Annie, and he does not want to get a guide dog. Annie has been, telling him that if he gets a guide dog, then, he's going to be able to get around better. Trevor's been having issues when he comes on campus. They're doing construction, and the construction is different, on different sides of the English building, and it changes every day what part, they are working on. So we see that he has an accident where he runs into like a pole in one of the construction sites, and he's just so upset. And his little walking stick, it's not going to be enough to tell him that the construction has moved because he's trying to memorize it, right? We see Annie in school. She's kind of getting bullied because her dad is blind. And one day Peyton sees she's walking Max, and Peyton works at a guide dog school where she trains these dogs to guide people that are blind. So she sees Max, not the dog. She's walking Max one day just to make sure he's following his commands and he's almost ready for a family. While she's walking Max, she passes Annie's school and she sees Trevor and Annie, and I think it's kismet. I think she looks over, and she may not know it at that moment, but that was her family. Yes, Peyton, that was your family. So Peyton sees Trevor and sees that he really does need the help, and leaves a brochure for the guide dog school that she works at the front desk of Annie's school. Trevor at first is very annoyed with this brochure because he already told Annie they cannot take on a dog. And now there's this brochure. So they go to the guide dog school, and Peyton tries to calm Trevor, with lots of his concerns that a dog is a lot to manage. And Peyton basically lets him know that Max would be part of your family, is going to add to your family. It's Max's job to keep you safe. And I think it's just going to be a good idea. So, and I love the guide dog. This is like the second guide dog movie I've watched on Hallmark this year, and I personally get very emotional with these cute dogs that are also out there protecting people's lives, you know? So anyway, Peyton decides, to convince Trevor to get the guide dog, that Max is the perfect dog. Max happened to be the dog she was walking the day she first saw Trevor and Annie. Once again, kismet. Anyway, so she starts to train Trevor how to work with Max. And during that time, she's dealing with her boyfriend named Chad, honey. Okay, Chad. We've all dated a Chad. Her boyfriend Chad is going away on some golf trip in Florida with his friends and leaving her around the Christmas season when her dad is coming to visit from Chicago. Her dad, who's a doctor. Peyton's coworker / friend tells her, hey, you need to leave Chad alone. He's like, bad news, but Peyton, she wasn't listening. So as she's getting to know Trevor and Annie better and showing them how to maneuver with Max, she starts to fall for Trevor, and he's definitely falling for her. Lots of chemistry here, and it just feels good. You almost forget about cheesy ass Chad. Now let's go back to Chad. Chad is in Florida with his buddies instead of being with Peyton, and she sees like some social media pictures where it's like them and a bunch of girls. Okay, first of all, Chad is on a vacation with his friend Chainsaw. Baby, if your man's best friend's name is a nickname like Chainsaw, they out there cheating when they vacationing without you. They cheating. Mark my words, okay? And Chainsaw was just a bad idea. He was giving Chad a lot of bad relationship advice on how to, make Peyton feel good and blow a lot of up her woo-ha instead of just being a good man to her. So Chad goes on this trip. He extends the trip even though he knows Peyton's father is in town, and Peyton's father really wanted to meet him, but instead Peyton's father ends up meeting Trevor and Annie at Peyton's job's Christmas party, and we can see it's a family. Both guys were single or were single fathers. Peyton's dad was a single father when Peyton's mom passed away. Trevor's wife left him for someone else, married someone else. So it was just him and Annie. So you already see that there was a bond there, that they're both single fathers that very much love their daughters. I'm telling you, this movie was just tugging at all my heartstrings, okay? Meanwhile, Chad is down in Florida on the golf course with Chainsaw cheating, even though he says he's not, but I'm telling you, okay? He was cheating. Anyway, Chad gets back and he realizes that Peyton's a bit pissed off that he's been gone, even for 4 extended days, and he didn't get to meet her father. They had plans. Peyton had planned for her and Chad to take a cooking class. Instead, it ended up being her and Trevor, honey, where the chef came to Trevor's house, and then the chef let it slip like, you guys are just the cutest couple I've ever seen. Baby, that's Chad's girlfriend, not Trevor's. Or is it really Trevor's, okay? Because Chad is still down in Florida golfing and cheating, okay? So Peyton and Trevor correct the chef and say, hey, we're just friends. And she said, okay, I'm just calling it like I see it. Girlfriend, I saw the chemistry too. Okay, Chad comes back and he notices that Peyton's got chemistry with her newest client, Trevor. So Chad tries to scare Trevor away. Meanwhile, Trevor's administration at the university is asking him to take a leave of absence until the construction is done in a year, so he has to stop his literature class. Now, I smell a damn lawsuit. This whole movie had ableism written all over it, because to ask one of your top professors who just became blind to take a leave of absence until the construction is over is wild, instead of accommodating someone that's disabled. I was very frustrated with the administration for that. But luckily, Trevor's students stood up for him and said he's one of the best professors, and if he's not going to be here in the spring, then they are going to petition. And they wrote letters, so Trevor ended up keeping his job. Peyton kicked Chad to the curb, as she should, because that fool Chad came back. And instead of getting her an engagement ring because he was trying to keep her away from Trevor, that fool asked if he could get a promise ring. Baby, the only time I ever want to hear promise ring is if we in high school or in college. Outside of promise ring, it need to be engagement when you're a grown-ass adult with a grown-ass job. You and Chainsaw are trifling. Anyway, once again, I give My Christmas Guide a 9 out of 10. I think it's a must-see. I love what Miracles of Christmas is over there doing. Check this out. It was heartwarming. I love Max, love Annie, Peyton. and Trevor. It was just wonderful watching them fall in love. All right, till next